What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel for my spoiler-free review for Nobody 2, a sequel to the 2021 hit film starring Bob Odenkirk. I really enjoyed the first Nobody. Now I did have a moment where I sat back and thought to myself after watching it the first time, am I giving this one a free pass just because it's one of the first post-COVID movies that I've watched and had fun with? But I gave it a rewatch a few months back, and I still think it's a really fun time. And most importantly, it answered a question that I think we all never knew that we wanted the answer to, and that is, what if John Wick was a middle-aged dad living the suburban family life? We have pretty much an entirely new creative team working on this sequel, and I went into it with very modest expectations. I want entertainment, escapism. The first one had a lot of cartoonishly over-the-top violence, and I expected this one to have that too, and I was hoping it would just be a fun popcorn flick because that's all you can ask from something like this. I left the theater half satisfied. On one hand, Bob Odenkirk sells this shit. If you watch his interviews regarding this film, you can tell that he's very passionate and happy to be making action films at age 62. I mean, good for him. If you enjoyed his character in the first film, like me, you will probably enjoy his character in this film too. He's got some great one-liners. I like that this one integrates the family a bit more. It's one of the few things that it changes up after the first one, and it was a little bit refreshing to see Connie Nielsen's character become more involved in the action, even though the star is Bob Odenkirk. That's who we're here for. With all of that said, this is a sequel that feels like reheated leftovers. It's just so forgettable, and not only because the action is a tick down from the first film, but also because it fails to make the most of its premise. It has its moments, don't get me wrong. There are certainly highlights in the violence. There's one sequence that takes place on a tour boat that I thought was very enjoyable. Some of the individual death scenes, most of which involve these red shirt nobody characters, they were fun. One that instantly comes to mind is on a water slide. But there's nothing in this film like the bus scene in the first one, something to make it memorable. This is just the first Nobody over again, but this time he's on vacation. That's really all there is to it. Sharon Stone is in here as the main villain, and I don't know, did I like her? I'm not sure. Like, she's hamming it up for sure, and I can't blame her. That's probably exactly what the script and the director were telling her to do. But I think this movie reaches a point where it crosses a line that the first film teetered on pretty skillfully, and it veers into this territory that is almost too cartoonish for my liking. Once again, I gotta throw this out there again. Not enough Christopher Lloyd. I mean, you can't have him in your movie for like 10 minutes. He's Christopher Lloyd, damn it. I like him as Hutch's dad, and I feel like this is the second time he has been underutilized in these films. It focuses on a lot of other side characters that to me were just annoying and forgettable, and unfortunately that's the word that comes to mind with this film. It's not terrible, it's not unwatchable, but it is forgettable. Like, I'm not going to have the urge to revisit this. I might search up a few of the highlight action sequences on YouTube, but that's not much of an endorsement for a feature-length film. It is just barely under 90 minutes, so that's a plus. I'm going to give Nobody 2 2.5 stars. This is like something you put on the TV when you're at a house party, things have started dying down, maybe you're all playing a board game or people have started to doze off and you just want some background noise that will keep people entertained in spurts. But I certainly wouldn't be in a rush to see this in a theater. I forget the name of the director who made this, so I'm going to put his name on the screen now. I've heard that he actually has made a couple of great films in the past that I haven't seen. I don't know, the action in this felt like a step down too. There was so much more shaky cam, and it wasn't as well put together as the first film, which was made on a smaller budget. But those are just my thoughts. If you do manage to catch Nobody 2, and maybe even months later on streaming or something, be sure to let me know what you think of it down in the comments, and tell me what your favorite action movie is in this like post-John Wick craze that we've gotten. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe before you take off. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.